All right, guys, this is number 4 out of my tutorial. I don't know what I was gonna call this. All right, guys, this is number 4. This is the last tutorial for the popcorn editing and how I did this. This is gonna be the last VFX one as well. This is going to be product retouching, which is a very common thing. Retouching is a very common thing in Photoshop and used for photos, but I'm going to show you guys how you can use it in videos and turn something that looks like this last shot right here. As you can see, I'm just going to point out some of the flaws really fast. The bags are really crinkly. There's lines in the table, and also, as you can see, the screen is not big enough and there are lines in the screens. So I'm going to teach you, or the background, and I'm going to teach you guys how to fix all of that so it looks like a shot like this. Look at that. No problem. There wasn't even a zoom in or anything on that. Okay, so first off, if you can, try to do everything right in production. It's sometimes impossible because you're limited to what you have, and that is the case for what I had. The bags are very crinkly. They've been manhandled at the stores or whatever. It's just the type of material. It makes it impossible to have a very clean bag. So I had to put that upon myself to fix in post. The next thing is my background. Paper backgrounds are the way to go if you have the money to put into them. And then lastly, if you have a big enough table, the reason why you can see all these lines is because my table wasn't big enough. But nevertheless, I'm going to teach you guys how to fix not any, but most issues that you have when it comes to something messed up in your shot and how you can remove that. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do is put your cursor, let's get rid of the final shot, on the original clip that you have. First, put your base grade, just like we've done with everything else. Go to input. If you are working with that base grade right, I'm going to drop the highlights. It's a little bright for me. Put some shadows in there. Boom. Put some blacks in there. That looks pretty solid. Maybe drop the whites just a smidge. Those highlights are still pretty bright on. Okay, perfect. So there is our base grade. Beautiful. So when doing this technique, we're going to take a screenshot, but you want to either take it from the beginning or the end of the clip. And here's why. Because you want to remember where the general areas that you took the screenshot from, because once you go into After Effects and lay your new photo down, you want to make sure that it's in the same spot. Otherwise, it's going to take forever having to do your realigning. All right, so screenshot time. I'm going to make sure it's at the end of the clip right here. Perfect. And then we're going to click this little camera button right here. I'm going to name this bag and shot rough. Please name it whatever you want. And then I'm going to make a folder inside my Boom Chicka Pop, which is right over here. Let's just say it's popcorn editing tutorial. We're going to do new folder, and I'm going to say rough VFX stills. Perfect. Awesome. Create. Choose. Boom. All right. Okay. Now that JPEG should show up in there, so we're going to go grab that. Make sure Photoshop is open. Perfect. Rough VFX stills. All right, so I'm going to drag it into Photoshop. Here's our photo. So the first thing you're going to do is that you're going to create a new layer, and you're going to do this 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Just depending on how many things you need to remove. You are going to create a layer for each kind of element that you have to remove. So the first layer we're going to name it is background. I'm just going to do BG. Next one's going to be bags. Last run's gonna be foreground. All right. So the reason why we're gonna do this is because they're all in different points of the plane. On your X and Y and Z axis, on your Z, some are closer and some are farther. So the background is going to be the first thing that we're gonna work on. We're gonna turn off these two. You're gonna make sure that you're selected on the background, and then hopefully you're comfortable with the clone stamp tool. And what we're gonna do is start removing things. And the way that you can do that is you can get in nice and close, use the Alt to where you want to be having the clone pick it up from, and make sure it's close for the line because you want the relatively the same color. And then you're just going to click across and start taking out this line. That's a little bit bright, so we're going to go like that. Maybe grab from over here so it's a little bit better. It's a little dark, so. And we're going to speed this up. All right, so we did that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the burn tool And I'm just gonna nice and vignette it because that's what it looked like before. So darken that purple around there. Beautiful. Kind of blend that back in so it looks similar to that shot down there. Beautiful. All right. So we got the burn tool. We did all that. Perfect. All right. So there's the background. Before, after. Much better, right? You can spend a little bit of time. I'm rushing on this. Usually I make it look a little bit nicer than this. This is just to give you an example. Then what we can do is turn on the bags and you're just going to do the same thing. I'm not going to go through all of these because it's going to take forever, but just to show you guys. So say you want to clean up these right here. And then the last one that I was going to do is the foreground element. So we turn that one on. Just pretend like I did all these bags. I've already done them. So just to save me some time. All right, in the foreground element, I'm just going to remove all these cracks in the ground so that they blend together like so. As you can see, look at, boom, amazing, right? All right, so you're going to probably be like, Austin, this is a photo. This isn't going to work. This doesn't make any sense. We're working with video. Obviously, I know that. All right, so I'm going to teach you how I do this. So we're going to turn off all these layers, turn off the main or original image like that, and that just leaves us with the background first. Select on the background and you're going to go to File, Save As, and you're going to put it into your rough VFX stills. You can put them in that if you want, and you're going to do End Shot Background. Perfect. Make sure it's a PNG. That's important. Then you can go to Save. You're going to say, okay, large file size. Okay, save it. Boom. Turn it off, turn on the bags. Then you're going to do the bags. You're going to do the same thing and name it bags and shot. And then the last one, you're going to turn off the other one and you're going to turn on the foreground and you're going to name it bags foreground. Make sure they're all PNGs. You want them transparent. That's important. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to dive into After Effects right here. Perfect. All right. And then you're going to take that ending shot that you exported, which is this one, as you can see, and the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to track the information on it. So you're going to go down to tracker right over here. Perfect. And we're going to go to track motion. And for this, we just need the transform and position. All right. And you're going to want to find something where this tracker can stay on that's very small, but detailed enough. And what I found worked was this little, rated pending, the R with the circle. I don't know what it's called. All right. Nevertheless, you put your circle like that. I mean, your square around it just like that. So it's only looking for that information, right? And then like that. And since we're at the end of the clip, because that is where we started with our screenshot, I'm going to say analyze backwards. And it's going to analyze. Amazing. All right. So we're going to pretend like we did all that. All right. Because I've already have my null and I already have my information tracked. So the next thing after you make sure all of it's analyzed, the whole shot, you're going to go to layer new, null object, and you're going to name it whatever you want by pressing enter and say tracking point. Perfect. Beautiful. All right. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go to edit target back here at the tracker and you're going to put it to tracking point and you say okay. And you're going to press apply and press XY and okay. Perfect. Now you got a new null object which has all that tracking information. The next thing you're going to want to do is bring in your different photos that you photoshopped. All right. So what I did for mine was I actually did a bag background, which is this one right here, bag shot left, right. Okay. But nevertheless, we're going to talk about that in a second. The first thing that we're going to do is just turn these on so I can show you guys. So I turned them all off. We're going to go to this ending shot right here. And we're going to turn them all on just like this. And you can already see what a huge difference those make. So check this out. The background, remember, this is how my background ended up. If we zoom in, look at these bags after, look at them before. Look how much that saves. And so you can tell me this is tedious, but look at what you're doing for this shot comparatively. Like, if you didn't do this, let me turn this one off really fast as well. Let me turn these all off. Just look at the detail of what you're going to be saving when you do this process. All right. It's pretty amazing. So remember where you took your screenshot? That is where you're going to want to drag in your clips. So you're going to want to start them right where you took the screenshot, which is the end right here. I'm going to turn this on. Doom, doom, doom. This is me pretending to drag the photos in for you guys. All right. Dragging them in. Perfect. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're not going to want to move at all. You're going to extend your photos all the way across the timeline, but you're not going to want to move the cursor. Leave it on the spot so everything is lined up perfectly. Because if you move, this is what's going to happen. See, it's not working, right? Looks terrible because they are just photos. So put the cursor back where it was and where you had everything lined up. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take this, which is called a pick whip, and you're going to put it to your null object, which you named, which is tracking point. But for me, my null object actually is null 1 because that's where my actual tracking information was from when I did it. So we're just going to pick whip all of these like so. Doop-a-doo, doop-a-doo. One more. Awesome. So I just pick whipped all those. Now let's look at this. Crazy. The photos stay and they actually track to that same point. And now, instead of having all those cracks all over the bags, instead of having your background all messed up, instead of having those cracks in the foregrounds, your shot now, I know this is a very slow shot, so I apologize, but now your shot looks 100 times better. And that is how you do retouching. And for this actual video, this popcorn video, because these bags were so crinkly, I actually retouched pretty much most of these layers. Sorry, my hard drive fell asleep. So I actually retouched most of these layers. This layer right here, retouched. This layer right here, retouched. I use this process, not that doesn't matter for that. But all these layers that show the bags, I cleaned them up. That one, retouched. The only ones that I couldn't retouch are these ones. And this is why. If the bag is spinning and the light is changing on the object of what you're trying to retouch, it's not going to work. Because remember, when you're doing the Photoshop, you're only when you're using the clone stamp, you're taking that color, right? You're taking the color of it at that one point in time. And so if the light starts to change, the color of that is going to change. If it gets brighter, it's going to get lighter, obviously, and there's more shadow, it's going to get darker. So just keep that in mind. But you can retouch almost anything in a video, and it's amazing, 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 amazing technique. I don't know anybody else that's done it. I've kind of stumbled upon it from previously doing a lot of Photoshop in my life, and then now realizing that I can make tracking points and then put these PNGs right over and just experimenting. I was like, oh, this actually works. This is amazing and a game changer. So please take this advice and use this, because this is probably the coolest one. I know the other ones are all flashy, but this tutorial right here is going to be the most helpful one for doing product videos. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed. That is the end of this tutorial. If you haven't seen 1, 2, or 3, go watch those first. This is number 4, so this is it for my popcorn and how I edit these videos. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time.